What's good, YouTube? And welcome to the house. Cybernetic Horizon has made its way onto TCG Player, and a couple people are freaking out about the prices to me, and here's what I have to say about it. It's still before the mass release. Most of these cards are going to be accessed from either major vendors or sneak peek people who already overvalued the cards when trading towards them to get them. So, in my opinion, it is best to kind of take a chill pill on TCG Player until the mass release, and then we'll see it start to try to compete with eBay. Historically, sneak peekish time, eBay is cheaper, but of course that promo code down below me is the cheapest, and the proof is in the pudding. The proof is in the prices, and you can get a further 5% off. We'll show that throughout this market watch. But Borrelsword Dragon sitting here at 70. Now we do know it is shorter, but as a one-of, I find it interesting, and we'll see as quantities arise and put out more if it'll, float on down towards the 60/50 mark that Borrelode floated between. I'd like to see how that actually turns out. Nessie, however, starting at $60. It is also shorter. My opinion on this is it's higher than Bigfoot because it's the combo starter / continuer. You want to open like Greffer and Nessie or Greffer Jackalope, and understandably so, people usually value a combo piece more than a beater. The beater's still relatively high for what it is. We'll see how these actually play out as well as we get more quantity. But over here, you see Nessie is actually at like $47.61, over $13 cheaper, and then you have the promo code. You have Bigfoot at $51, so similar, and similarly Borrelsword here. Now, what's super cheap compared to everywhere is Cyber Rev System, and we see it over here on TCG Player at $25, and I believe we actually see it on eBay bids going above $18, and lowest buy it now is at $21 here on eBay. So interesting that across the line, Cyber Rev System is so much more. And I did suggest to get the Cyber Dragon cards early. Turns out Seeger here is shorted, and that's probably why they ran out of quantity so fast. Hers, though, it seemed relatively easy to get, but a lot of the Cyber Dragon players, I assume, will be going for multiple of them, and that would be why that went out at 5. I'd assume. The Cyber Dragons are probably what you want to get after the Danger cards. Jackalope and Chupacabra here at 16 and 16. We see over here they're a little bit cheaper, but not by too much at 11 and 13. Again, people like both of these cards for the deck. I mean, it's the beginning of the deck. You need basically all the monsters if you're going to play it, and unfortunately it's very expensive. My suggestion is to hold off for now and see where the mass release prices go. But as you see, the quantities on TCG Player are just going to be low. I'm going to stick to the shop around TCG Players, and probably not the best until a couple of weeks. And Ledger of Ledger Main, is that the new draw card? This one? Yeah, we see it much cheaper again. So shop Yu-Gi-Oh singles. Do be aware they're international, but you can get free shipping above $75 US, so pull together with your team if you're going for the cheaper stuff, or find a Danger player and just try to hop on his order. But always be aware it is international mail, so be aware of any like storms or anything happening between your area and New Zealand when you are ordering from them. And we see Seeger actually, whoo! Oh, I actually have not looked this one up on eBay. Cyber Dragon Seeger. Okay, Cyber Dragon. Let's check you out real quick. Yeah, you see Nessie's actually okay on eBay as well. 49 lowest for US. Cyber Dragon Seeger. Ian. Let's check. Oh, yeah, I say there's always going to be something that Yu-Gi-Oh! Singles gets got on because they're so just, like, straightforward and cheap and trying to barely turn a profit versus their openings. They got pretty bad. Whew. Alright, we'll see how this one turns out as well as quantities come up, but it is actually probably harder to get than most cards. Like, about as hard to get as a secret rare. One of the hardest to get ultra rares, along with Jackalope. But it is an extra deck card, so I expect it to go down as its quantity is low. And not too many people are going to take the Cyber Dragon deck that to heart. Like, I need these Cyber Dragons. I miss you, Yugi No. And our Magnite of Morningstar starting out like 9 over here. It's a little more expensive on TCG Player as well. If we keep scrolling down here through all the stuff, it's like 12. I realistically think it can go up over time, but again, I would take the cheaper ops on it, such as 952, or even eBay here is a pretty good price on them at $9.95 if you want them faster like Sonic. Going through the off-season has been very interesting. Engage, as you might recall, heading towards Nationals was 90 to 100, and it dropped towards 70 here during the off-season. But it slowed its roll there. I fully expected this to go towards 65 and 60 with ban list fears, because, you know, after the Worlds, we typically get some kind of ban list. But no, people seem to have learned from Ash Blossom and are going to hold on. Now, my opinion is they realistically could hit Engage or Hornet, but they're going to continue to release Sky Striker cards in the core sets, it seems. So, we'll see what they decide to do with this engine, because it was so prevalent in Trickstars. Are they just going to hit Trickstars and ignore this for a ban list? Or will they go for it? Personally, I would still kind of trade mine off until I have an event to play in where I need them. But I could see them going back up out of the off-season as we head towards the 200th. It really is impressive, though, where Ash Blossom Secrets fell from like 70 some odd to 40. This has stayed relatively well. Widow Anchor, however, falling more as you play that more in pure decks. And then Beat, not really going many places like it was at 20. And now it's at 18 lowest here on TCG Player. Beat, shorter print, and that's where it's at for its price. Now, there is a card here in Flood that I actually will highly suggest, but just noting on that off-season thing again, Impermanence not falling so far as much as we might have thought. Maybe that's the ratios. Ghost Spell staying up here. Ibly actually surprisingly staying up there. But this set is guaranteed to not be in the Megatin, so we'll see where if is Gold Series going to come back. We kind of need a World Superstars or Gold Series at this point for all these exclusives. But Vampire Sucker is a card I'd pretty much suggest to get now. If you've played against the zombie decks that use this, you know it's actually pretty darn good, not just in like vampires, but in general. And we see that, yes, it can bid its way back up towards its natural price. There is a demand for it at this price. That zombie structure deck is coming, and I highly think this is underestimated and a really good card to grab right now at its price point, since it's guaranteed not to be reprinted in the Megatins and unlikely to be hit by the ban list. If anything, there might be indirect support towards zombies with all this product pushing them. Next up, we have Isolde actually rising back from the brink towards 25, like it was headed down towards 20. Nah, I'm going to ignore that and go towards 25. And my opinion here, it could be in the Megatins. It could be affected by the ban list, but I don't think they'll outright hit this card. I think they'd hit Phoenix Blade first, kind of the legacy card first that was problematic with it, that helped the recursion. This is going to end up in a lot of decks here, so if it misses the Megatins, you've made a great bet. If it is in the Megatins, ooh, it's still got to dodge the Megatins, the ban list, and then being reprinted somewhere along the way, such as in the legendary decks. It'll be interesting to watch this one and see what happens between all those products, and if it's able to dodge all those bullets, yeah, it's gonna deserve its price point, and we might see one of those first $50 instances, such as, you might have remembered Pepe, our Luster Pendulum. We could very well see something like that from Isolde if it managed to dodge all those. But do be aware, you are gambling a little. You're fading a lot of things for that to happen. Firewall, going back up here. Okay, this is mainly due to quantity, and then people still have locals, they have events. Realize this is confirmed for the Megatins. Just because it wasn't in the product description, it was revealed at the WCQ. This would be Megatin. And it's due for Alter Arts out the wazoo throughout the future products. After its first reprint, I expect to see it a couple more times. So, and it's a one-of right now, since it's one on the ban list. I think the Megatins will highly drop its price. And at first I was thinking Borreload would be one of the main chase cards in the tins. But as a one-of extra deck card too, you can never have enough Borreloads for all your decks and all that sort of stuff. I think the main chase card mathematically will be evenly matched after a while, as long as there's no short print shenanigans. And I think historically in the Megatins there isn't. Evenly matches the 3-of. similar to Solemn Strike when it was the chase card out of its tins, and it's always going to find a place in side decks, I feel like. So I think Evenly Matched ends up being the card to get after, let's say, a couple months of the Megatins being out. I think it'll hold the best value. Whereas Borreload, also due for an Alter Art at some point, and a 1-of in the extra, with so many pulled, will probably fall behind Evenly Matched. That's just my opinion, though, and that is speculation. What do you guys think will be the chase card out of the 10s? Will it be Borreload over Evenly? Will something else arise? I think by my math, it's Evenly. But again, I can be wrong. So let me know what you guys think. Give this a thumbs up if you did enjoy it. Subscribe if you haven't already. And the off-season, it's an interesting one, isn't it? Things did fall, but not as dramatically as we might have thought. And what do you think about Cybernetic Horizon opening on TCG Player? Do you usually avoid TCG Player here early on, or do you go towards like some of the names that you know and give them your pre-orders? What do you guys do and shop for pre-orders? Is it Yu-Gi-Oh! Singles? Is it TCG Player? Is it eBay? Or is it another pre-seller that, or do you just always go sealed? I personally wouldn't always go sealed, but I can appreciate people who are addicted to opening those packs, because, man, I'll beg to open some packs for free. Can I just open that pack? That's me at your local sometimes. Thanks for watching.